Hi there, my name is Shelby Carter and I chose to do my presentation topic on the alcohol sales at collegiate sporting events. We all have been in college long enough to know that either they go along or they are very close together, and we all associate drinking alcohol or seeing people drink alcohol at sporting events at any level, even whenever you're tailgating with your friends at just a high school game before the game. It's just a typical thing that we're kind of used to seeing. But the purpose of this would be to see if we can reduce the alcohol consumption in college students by eliminating the sales of alcohol at collegiate sporting events, to reduce the available access to having alcohol. Yes, there are other ways that they can get the alcohol, whether they tailgate or things like that. And obviously tailgating is a huge part of specifically like college football, and to take that away, or to take the alcohol aspect of that away, I think would be a detriment to the sports in general and also to the attendance, which we don't want to do that. And so if we just eliminate the sales of alcohol at the sporting event itself through the concession stand, through sponsors, through in the stadium itself, not pregame, not things like that, we can reduce the availability of alcohol and also the continuation of over drinking once they're done tailgating. So they can tailgate before the game, their family, friends, things like that. Once they're in the game, they're not drinking, and then this allows them to get home safely. This is not just towards the safety of the collegiate students or the college students, but it's also going to help the community as well. Obviously, by not selling alcohol at all at these events, it'll also reduce the alcohol consumption of adults as well. Obviously, our focus here is underage drinking and binge drinking in large amounts. By, like I said, not selling selling alcohol at collegiate sporting events, we're going to vastly reduce that. There's been studies shown that show that there's a huge correlation between drinking at all and drinking heavily or heavier than normal at sporting events, just because of the environment that you're in. The association is there. Your brain has actually made that association to whenever you go and enjoy a sport, you are going to drink alcohol in order to enjoy that sport as much as possible. And this way we're not breaking that, but we're just trying to reduce that for safety purposes of the collegiate students from the university, so that way the university is not responsible for selling alcohol to people, because they may not be the only ones drinking it. They could be getting a couple beers for themselves, whatever the allotted limit is per purchase, and taking it back to their seats, and who drinks it. It's allowing for a lot of underage drinking to happen in a very public setting as well, and that's all under the university's responsibility. There's been a couple of ways that they've tried to combat this in other ways. One would be just higher education, educating students through high school, middle school, just letting them know of all the repercussions, all the consequences, what alcohol is. That way they're not trying to find those limits once they get to college and then are abusing them and things like that. That didn't work. Studies showed on numerous occasions that even with the most amount of education, there still was high levels of binge drinking where schools are heavily sports related at sporting events. And the more sports that and sports correspondence a university had, the more drinking there was as well. And then they also looked into the idea of a completely dry campus, meaning no alcohol in any dorms, no matter what your age is, no tolerance for alcohol whatsoever. Again, that didn't work. That was too dramatic. People just learned how to hide it, and having that rule almost made there be higher numbers as well. Like I said, it just didn't work. This way, we're not trying to completely eliminate the consumption of alcohol in collegiate students, even if people of age, even whenever they are in college. We just want them to use it responsibly and not take advantage of the situation by drinking too much or drinking, over drinking, binge drinking, by just eliminating the sales of alcohol at collegiate sporting events. They can drink before the game, they can drink after the game, but during the game itself, they're not allowed to drink purchased alcohol at the game. And I personally think this is great, not only for the collegiate students, but also for the just the fans and all. It's going to help people get home safer, less drunk driving. No, it may not always work, but like I said, it's an attempt, and that's all we can really kind of look for with these. We can't control everybody, but as a university, as an athletic director, that's the steps that we're going to have to make in order to get the most out of it. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this presentation, and obviously my paper to come. Bye.